I am sure at some point you have heard the phrase a pack of dogs or a flock of geese, but have you ever heard of a business of ferrets? Or how about a smack of jellyfish? Or even a shadow of jaguars? Now the list is so long for the terminologies of a group of animals and their names, most of which I have never heard. What really sticks out to me is a murder of crows. It's creepy, right? Let me ask you a question. What do you think about when you see a crow? Like, what words come to your mind? Let me give you a couple of seconds to think of a couple of descriptive words. So do you think of things like dark, mysterious, destructive, ravenous? I actually asked a few friends on a Facebook post the same exact question. What words come to your mind when you see a crow or think about a crow? And unanimously, most of the words were spooky, death, black, bad luck, dark, mysterious. It might actually surprise you, but crows are among the smartest birds in the world. Elena Bradford of AliveScience.com says that these birds are well known for their problem-solving skills and their communication skills. Bradford also says that if a crow interacts with a human, that crow will teach other crows how to identify that human. Stephanie Pappas of LiveScience.com also mentions a research study that was done in Seattle where researchers trapped and banded crows for around 5 years. About a year after the birds were released, people were noticing that the crows were dive bombing and attacking the researchers because they recognized them. Now, as quoted in her article by John Marsluff, a researcher who was in this research project, says that a lot of the birds that were attacking them weren't even the original birds who were part of the research study the first time. He thinks what has happened is these birds have communicated with their children or their family members that these people are a danger to them. avesneor.com says that crows will actually carry pebbles and sticks and pine cones to drop on those that they feel are a danger to them. Now, on the contrary, there was a story on BBC.com where this little girl fed some bread to a couple of crows, over the course of a couple of years. In exchange, they would actually bring her gifts. Now, I want to throw up a photo of some of the gifts that she would receive. And a lot of them are like rocks, paper clips, little pebbles. One looks like an earring. Otherwise would be considered junk. However, this little girl, she says that these gifts that these crows brought her in exchange for food was more valuable to her than gold. Now, over the course of the years, originally it had started by her dropping a chicken nugget, and one individual crow came to her for food at her bus stop when she got home from school. Her brother started to help feed them, and then years later, as of 2017, when the article was written, her mother and her actually cook extra food specifically for the crows, and they swarm her backyard and sit on all the furniture and wait to be fed by them. Now, have you ever heard somebody mention the similarities of primates to the human species? Their nurturing nature, their hands, the way they carry themselves. It might shock you that humans and crows also have something else in common, besides a little bit of common sense, communication skills, and a fight or flight reaction in the sense of danger. Would you like to take a guess? Crows hold funerals. Now, the reason that these funerals happen might actually surprise you. Liz Langley of National Geographic says that they are not to mourn their dead, but it's actually to find out if there is a threat, where the death occurred. That way they do not face the same fate. Mentalfloss.com's article, Why Crows Hold Noisy Funerals, says that the next time you hear a murder of crows cackling for no reason, you may have stumbled across a crow funeral. And you might want to take into consideration that these crows feel the need to gather and to flock into large noisy groups to provide protection from this possible threat. Now, crows are part of the Corvus genus, along with their other family member, the raven. Both birds are very, very similar and share the same characteristics. However, they do have some differences. As pointed out by Mark Mancini on mentalfloss.com, the raven is a larger bird that can be the size of a small hawk. If you ever see them flying, you can actually see through the feathers of the raven as its wings are extended. The tail of a raven is also more wedge-shaped. Another distinct difference between the two is the vocalization. I would like to play you a sound of the caw of a crow and then one of the ravens so you can see the differences. Over media, like movies, poems, artwork, crows and even ravens are portrayed as mysterious creatures that are surrounded by the idea of death and creepiness. These birds are highly intelligent and kind to those that are kind to them. They are elegant and they are majestic creatures, and I would never want to make one of them my enemy.